Thank you very much for letting me come here today and talk. When I came in here this morning, I was standing here and I was like, oh my God, look at the size of it, look at the scale. It's going to be, I didn't realize it was quite this big. And I looked at the seats and I thought, oh, this place is amazing, it's incredible. And I looked down and I thought, look, how brilliant, Channel 4 have sponsored all the chairs. What a brilliant idea that is. And then I realized on the next chair, it would have been Channel 5 and then Channel 6. And then I realized that I was just looking at the numbers of the chairs. So it just kind of shows what happens to you when you leave a country. You become a moron, because I now live in Copenhagen. I've been there for 7 years. And when I come back to England, I'm like, oh, it's amazing. It's incredible. I was walking across the bridge, whatever it's called, I've forgotten now, across the water here. And I was looking at the Houses of Parliament, and I was saying, imagine listening to the Today Show and looking at that. Because I listen to the Today Show in Copenhagen, and I can't see Westminster. But anyway, so I am a little bit overexcited about being here, as maybe you can tell. Okay, so I'm going to talk about technology. No, I'm going to talk about people, actually, I think, but I'm going to talk about it via technology. So yes, I'm someone that people call me the Lego man, which I kind of hate, actually, but I can't help it, because the fact is that every time I go through customs or security checks at airports, I'm normally traveling to go and do some sort of workshop where I have an enormous bag of Lego and Playmobil, for those Germans amongst us. And I get stopped nearly every single time. I think they think I'm going to assemble a bomb out of Lego, but it would be ridiculous, because you'd have an enormous plan, wouldn't you? And you'd always miss a part under the seat in front of you. So I use Lego as a way of, and Playmobil, to help people visualize their ideas. Why? Because I think actually the ideas that we're now working on are really complex. They're really difficult, and I think that we spend too much time trying to construct the models inside our heads, when really we just need to vomit our ideas out onto the table, and then we can then spend more time being creative. If you work in a group and you're collaborating and you've got these really complex transmedia, cross-media, interactive projects in your head, then if somebody adds another idea, you can see everybody else kind of like really shifting their brains just to be able to hold the model. So I say get the models onto the table. So what am I going to talk about? Well, oh my God, there is so much stuff, isn't there? There's just so much stuff. Fantastic animation cartoon a few years ago, a friend of mine told me about a superhero going out into space, chasing after a nasty villain, and the villain basically is going to destroy the planet. I am going to blow up the planet, he says. He said, oh no, that's the place where I keep my stuff. And the thing is that we have so much stuff with this transmedia, cross-media. And I think that we can get so lost. So we need to look for clues. And I really hope that today there will be some good clues that come out of the talk. So I'm certainly going to hopefully try and find some clues for you. And I'm going to show you a tool that I've kind of developed myself, so it doesn't mean it's right. And it's my little way of trying to look for clues in this kind of this sea of stuff. So I've worked for some companies. As Liz said, I mainly worked for the BBC when I used to live here. So I worked in content. But I also worked in the last couple of years, I've been lecturing in concept development. And I've been working with a lot of clients and working in an area that I have no idea about. That's why they employed me as a lecturer, working in communication, marketing, and commerce. And in that area, I was kind of fascinated by the tools that you get. Because the thing is, as creatives, we just get driven along by our own passion, right? So you don't have to ask people, creative people, to work late at night. They just do it. But marketing or communication people, they need money and they need tools to kind of funnel them through the process. And I realized that some of these tools are actually really effective for us guys. Because, you know, our sampling group, our market sampling group tends to be God, because he's the one that gives us all the insight, right, as creatives. Whereas marketing people actually go out there and find out what people are interested in. And I find that kind of interesting. And it was great listening to Ingrid's talk. Next time, I would like them to put me into the hotel room next to Ingrid so I can listen at 4 o'clock in the morning with a glass against the wall, because some of the stuff that she said was so cool. And I could have really done with hearing that at 4 o'clock in the morning rather than half an hour before my talk. But the thing that I find fascinating is the fact that we are all affected by technology in some way. When technology goes right, we don't notice it. But when technology goes wrong, we notice it. In the same way that some of you are probably thinking, oh, the idiot, something's gone horribly wrong. I had to say to the technical guy, please, this is intentional. So we have this thing that happens inside of us, which kind of understands the way that we respond and react to technology. And I think that's what's fascinating. And I think that's what we should really be feasting on, which fits in neatly with my title of my talk. So I'm going to be annoying now, okay? Hold on. This is connected. Could you guys, I want to take a photograph. Would that be all right? Could you just put your laptops down? Yes? Could you stand up? Okay, are you ready? Oh, yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, well, let's hope this works. So, that's it. Thank you very much. Goodbye. The last time that I did a talk with Power to the Pixel was back in Berlin. I was invited to Potsdam, which was fantastic. And I very much, thank you very much, sir. I very much focused on the user and looking at things from a user-centric approach, because I think that that's what designers do, and I think that's what we should be doing as creatives. But the thing is, I made a bold claim. Don't worry, Liz, these aren't just the old slides from last time, and I'm just regurgitating. But I made this claim that I felt that the problem is that content makers are obsessed with delivering to platforms rather than to users. And so what happens is that we ask the question, what can we do on the iPad? And I think it's the wrong question. I think the question is, what can we do? I think that's more interesting in a way. What can we do? And then we kind of worry about the platform later. But the thing is, okay, so if I'm saying, right, so I don't want you to worry about the platform, okay, then the obvious kind of counter to that is, right, so we just need to ask the user, right? Now, the problem is that as Steve Jobs kind of pointed out, is that the user doesn't always know himself what he wants. I mean, if we just gave the user what he wants, they'd probably just get soft pornography and partial beheadings. They don't always know what they want, which sounds a bit demeaning, but I think most users would probably say that, yeah? We actually don't like choice. The BBC didn't like the word choice. It actually rebranded it to BBC Three. But we don't like this word choice sometimes. So as we heard in the first talk as well, very much about this notion of how much control there is and how much choice that we give to the audience. So where do we go then? If I'm saying back off from the platform and don't just expect the answer from the user, where do we go? Well, I think what we have to do, is we have to react to the way the audiences respond to technology. That's what I think is really interesting. We have to see the way by which human beings, because I think the majority of us are, respond to technology. And from that, we can then become inspired, because I think that's the thing that really is going to drive formats. Because whether or not it's art, stories, products, services, or campaigns, we ultimately funnel audiences. That's what we do. We push them. We are actually journey designers. Oh my God, I can see that on somebody's tweet right now. We are journey designers. That's what we do. We take people on journeys. Now, if you're a designer, okay, what design is talking about, which I really like, is awareness, understanding, sign up, use, completion, advocacy. So the notion is that you are trying to funnel people through this process. You're trying to get them to gain awareness. What is it? For them to understand what it is, for them to sign up and actually use the thing, for them maybe to complete the thing or maybe still be using it, and then ultimately advocacy. They go and tell other people to use it. If you're a marketeer, you might refer to the AIDA model, attention, interest, desire, action. Very, very similar. So I think that's what we're doing. I think this is what is at the root of transmedia, cross-media, what do you want to call it? Anything whereby you want to get the audience involved, this is the kind of the funneling effect. So I reckon that what we can do is rather than trying to just make the leap from new technology, new formats, or new services, bless you, What we need to do is we need to go through a series of steps. And I do that because, honestly, I'm not just saying this as kind of the English way of sort of, underplaying myself, although that is a good trick, but never works in Denmark. If you say to people, hey, you know a lot about TV, and you say, I know a little bit, Danes will go, oh, right. In England, you're like, no, that's because I know a lot. But this is the different steps that you need to go through, I believe. You need to look at new technology. You need to understand the new phenomena that comes from that technology. You need to then kind of understand the habits that form from that new phenomena. I'll explain this in a sec. You then look for the social norms that come as a function of those new habits, and then you then start deciphering the new needs and the expectations. And then what you do is you then respond to those new needs and those expectations. And then suddenly the jump from new technology and new format doesn't become too scary because you can break it down into mouth-sized chunks. Okay, telephone, right? Has anybody used a telephone? 20 years ago, when you used to phone people up, okay, you kind of knew where they were, right? Because they were attached to a telephone line that was attached to their house. So you'd phone them up at home, and the one thing you'd never say was, where are you? Because they'd go, I'm at home, you idiot. You've just phoned me up, okay? But what's happened is that the mobile, new technology, has created a new phenomena, the ability to go mobile, which basically means that you can walk away from your house, okay? So the fact that you can walk away from your house now means that there's a new habit. It means then that people will then start saying, oh, right, you're not at home. Oh, where are you? Okay? And that then starts kind of bleeding between, it merges from sort of a new habit into a kind of a new social norm. It almost becomes the default way of just asking people, of saying hello. Oh, hello, where are you? Okay, it's joined on to the hello bit. So what we then start associating with is we associate the mobile with this whole kind of location-based stuff. The fact that they are somewhere and we want to know where they are. So the new needs and expectations are we need to know where people are and we need to have something that's kind of location-specific to that telephone. So the clever people, and my microphone's just dying. I thought I'm going to have to lean in closer and closer. The clever people are the people at Foursquare or Google or whatever who create new services or new content that basically works around this new need, which is the need for people to know where they are. Now, of course, I'm not saying that every single service that delivers into that is going to work. Like there's been a lot of services about tracking, you can tell people where you are without them having to actually ask, do we really want to know that? I don't know. But you can see that you can break it down into these steps. Right, now this is where it's going to go horribly wrong. Let's hope this works. Hold on a second. Right. I lied. I didn't take a photograph just then. I took a little video. And the reason is, and unfortunately I don't think it really worked, okay, is that the thing about cameras is new technology, okay? When you take a picture of people, all right, what do? They do the most stupid things, although these guys, God bless them, they didn't, annoyingly, but I'll show it to you anyway. The thing is, normally when you take a picture, you do several things. You start smiling in ways that you don't normally smile in everyday life. Why the hell do we do that? Okay. We suddenly become instant friends with people we don't know. So suddenly we start putting our arms around people, okay? And those arms are actually on small pieces of elastic. Have you noticed? Because when the person takes the camera down, it's like that, okay? And people move very, very, very slightly. Now, with some people, these things are very, very subtle, so we'll have to have a look. But this is what's interesting. You see, with a camera, you don't have to tell people how to react. They'll auto-frame themselves. They'll know the picture is 4:3, so they know they have to come in close. Because that is a social habit that has formed from the technology. Let's see, shall we, what happened. Let's hope this works. Now, I've actually done this twice, because there's 3 guys who are standing outside. They might be in the room. Maybe they just weren't here. And I managed to do them as well. So maybe we should just watch them first. Maybe that's more fun. So these are the guys I got outside. Are you 3 guys here? Yeah? Okay, yeah, if you are. Oh, well done. Okay, now these guys are too cool for school, basically. Okay. Okay, so hold on. You, Now there was a little bit of stuff going on, right? Okay, because this guy here Okay, he does the funny grin. Okay, right? This guy here, he's basically, yep, I need to change my hand position. And this guy does his hands. The guy on the left changes his hands. The guy on the right, nope, too cool for school. Let's just watch it one more time, yeah? Okay, so hold on. So, technology is beautiful, isn't it? Now, hold on. We must do this other one because we can't miss out on that one. So, what was this one here? I don't think these guys did anything. Let's just see. Let's see what these guys did. Okay, hold on. Could you stand up? Okay, are you ready? Oh, yeah. Okay, now, yeah, we've got a bit of stuff going on. We've got the funny grin, yeah? We've got the funny grin, but we don't have a lot of movement. So God bless to these guys. They're probably going to kill me afterwards, I don't know. But you could put the lights back up now. So the thing is that luckily, hopefully, you've seen these things happen so often that you understand what I'm getting at, even though these guys let me down slightly. So we can see the way by which we respond. We respond to technology. Okay, idiot on a bicycle. I'll have to be really quick now, okay? When we leave home now, okay, we become the idiot on the bicycle. Why? Because we carry all the information that we need on our mobile phone. So that then means then that we don't need to have information when we leave home. In the old days, you left home, if you were going on a date or a meeting, with the information in your hand, okay? Now, you leave home and you know that you'll gain that information when you get closer to the event. So we now leave home as idiots as a function of technology, and we become cleverer as we get closer to the event. Okay, that is the way the technology has created a new social norm. Always include a picture of your children. It's important. I won't tell you which one is mine. You have to guess. Okay, so this is the children. I went into my kids' school one day. There was a board up on the wall. It had a photograph of all the kids as it is there. I wanted a picture of all the kids, so I went up with my mobile phone and I just took a picture with my mobile phone. I think if I'd gone into the classroom with this thing and started taking snaps of every single child, Denmark, not so much of a problem. England, wahey, I think I'd be on. I nearly made a horrible joke, but I won't. But I think I would have been on some program for kids many years ago. And the thing is that now the technology means that there is an expectation. People understand what I'm doing. They don't think that I'm taking a photograph. They think that I'm taking information. And that's what's really interesting. There's an acceptance that I can now take information with my camera, phone, rather than just photographs. But I would say that one of the services that has come out of this new phenomenon, new habit, new social norm, the QR code, just isn't working. It's not really working because actually the thing they've probably missed is the fact that I actually want to be able to see the information in the image I take. When I leave the home, I take photographs of the chalkboard behind my door because I use that as a shopping list, and then I just take a photograph, it's sad, I know, with my camera. So suddenly we are using our cameras not to take photographs, but to take information. I've also noticed something interesting about presentations, PowerPoint presentations, is that people are now tweeting through the presentations. So I noticed that people are now writing in sound bites that make them more tweetable. So that PowerPoints become a kind of a function of the fact that people are tweeting during. In the old days, people just talked about it afterwards on blogs after the event. Now we have to make sure our PowerPoint has words in it that you can easily tweet. Before we came here, I'm going very quick. Before we came here, I got an email from Tishna saying, it was hilarious, it was brilliant. Tishna wrote to all us guys, like, very politely, oh, by the way, you won't be able to see the notes on the computer, okay? So you'll have to just print it out or something. And I was thinking, print it out? What does that mean?
Or bring on another device.
Or on another device. Yes, exactly. So, sorry, Tishna. So I'm making so many friends here. So I think it's really interesting that this is the new technology we've got used to, the fact that we can see, or we should be able to see the notes behind our presentations on this screen, and you can see it here. So sometimes when we want to see the new social norms that have derived from technology, we almost have to break the system to be able to expose them. The new social norm is, I expect that I should be able to see my notes on a computer, okay? Kids, anything glass and shiny, they touch it because they think they can interact with it, yeah? I don't know if they're really doing that at the zoo here. But that's what's happening. Very small kids, give them anything glass and shiny, they think they should be able to move things on it because that's what they're used to. The new social norm is that glass and shiny means it's an interface. We just end up with really, really dirty screens. I put this picture in yesterday. I still can't remember why, but I think it's such a fantastic picture, I just had to keep it. Train stations, information is available all sorts of places. So the new social norm, the technology allows us to have information dotted around all of the places. But the new social norms is we now gather at that information, which actually means that they have big problems on train stations because there's huge amounts of congestion at the places where there's information. So the new social norm is the fact that we almost have to break that social norm by actually thinking about the way that we provide information. I have a friend of mine who designs lighting for train stations, and the problem is that he's kind of having to fight against the information because that's what's drawing the people, not the beautiful lighting that's down the tracks. No longer do we say to people, oh, I saw this brilliant thing on TV last night. What a shame you missed it. Because we all expect that you should be able to find it. The expectation is catch up. Through video on demand services, we expect that we should be able to watch these things again. So the new social norm from this technology is no longer can we say, damn, you missed it. What you should now be saying is, damn, I can't bloody find it. I won't tell you about that. Okay, very, very quickly. No, oh my God. How long have I got? 1 minute. Right, television. Okay. What's really interesting about television is that when television was invented, it was invented, I don't know, 100 years ago or something. And what was so genius about it was they started with one channel. Then they went to 2 channels, and 3 and 4 perhaps, and then they left it like that for about 60 years. And the way we used to navigate through those channels was basically you turn it on, and you'd watch it, and you go, don't like, and then you'd switch it left or right or up or down. I like that more than what I've just seen, or I like it less. And then you go back to what you've just seen, or you go the other way. So in a way, the way by which you choose things is a function of what you've just seen. It's not like you're given a choice, like a big interface. You're actually just making choices based on what you've just seen. It's absolutely genius. But if Microsoft had come along and invented television, you'd have had some annoying paperclip asking you what genre you'd like to see. And then you'd be thinking, oh, God, I don't know. I just want to watch TV. It's like when you go into hotel rooms and you suddenly have that display and you think, I don't know what's going on. I just want to watch TV. I'm not going to go through that. OK. I'll make this available, this PowerPoint available to you. My very, very last comment, I promise, is that I think that what you can do is, I'm convinced that if you want to come up with new services, new formats, new products even, don't try and just look at technology. Look at the way that us human beings respond to technology and then get excited by that. But don't think about future technology, because if you think about future technology, then the new phenomena that comes out of that, well, that's the square of that, yeah? And the new habits that come out of the new phenomena, well, that's by the power of 3. And the new social norms is by the power of 4. The idea that we can work this stuff out is just forget it. So what I say is no to future thinking. It's about now thinking, and you can tweet that. It's about now thinking. What we have to do is we have to think about now, and we have to think about the way that us as human beings respond to technology. Dung, 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 dung. Watch this guy on YouTube. It's hilarious. Thank you very much.